Hi, hello. This is Dr. Prasad Putilam, continuing the class series for the fifth semester, Computer Science and Allied Branches students, Environmental Studies of VTU Technological University. A simple topic, but I thought that it's better to take a theory than supported by a set of objective type questions based on this prepared study material. The objective type questions option and answer will be available in my YouTube channel, my intuition, in the playlist environmental studies. Okay, I'm preparing both for computer science stream students as well as non-computer science students. Started with the computer science stream students. Okay, so this is module 2, module 1 already uploaded, module 2 plus. Okay, so module 2, that is on natural resources and energy. Okay, so natural resources, mainly the syllabus says about water resources. So I prepared the content on water resources, water availability. The water availability refers how much water we have on earth and how much we can use from that. So the earth, it has got a lot of water, but only very small amount of it is actually usable. Okay, let me explain. First, let us look how water is distributed globally. Around 97.5% of all water on earth, it is salt water in oceans and as well as in the sea, which we cannot drink or cannot use directly for farming. Only 2.5% of earth's water is fresh water, but even this small amount, most of it is frozen in the glaciers and the ice caps, or it is very deep in the underground. So, in fact, less than 1% of total water on Earth, it is accessible for us and easy for us to use directly. So, that's a very small amount of water available for all humans, the plants as well as animals. So, where do we get this fresh water? Fresh water, it can come from various sources, which include the rivers, lakes. These are rivers and lakes are the large water bodies which collect rainwater and provide water for drinking, water for agriculture, and for other needs, basic needs. Then reservoirs, which are the man-made lakes, which store water for needed for the cities or the communities which lives in that area. Then the groundwater. Groundwater, it is the water which is stored under the ground, which can access by digging the wells. Then glaciers. These are huge masses of ice found in mountains and the polar regions. But as they melt, they release water into rivers. Then the water quality and the aspects supporting to that. And it is also very important. Water quality means how clean and safe the water is available for drinking, farming, or other uses. There are many factors that affect the water quality. The main causes of water pollution or affecting the water quality or poor water quality, it includes the industrial pollutants, agriculture runoff, sewage and chemical contaminations. The factories and the industries, they often release chemicals and the waste into river and lakes, which can make the water unsafe. The agriculture farms sometimes use pesticides to kill the pest or fertilizers to grow crops. So when rains, if these pesticides or fertilizers are used excess, these chemicals can wash into the rivers and the groundwater and contaminate them. Then comes the wastewater or the sewage from homes or cities. They also pollute the water sources when if it is not treated properly. Then comes the chemical contamination, which includes any harmful chemicals like those from mining activities, which can get into water sources. The water quality indicators, they help us to check if water is clean and safe, and it includes the physical indicator, chemical indicator, biological indicator. Physical indicator, they are the things like temperature and turbidity, or how clear the water it is. Chemical indicators, which include the pH level, whether water is acidic or basic, or the amount of fluoride, or amount the presence of heavy metals like lead. These are chemical indicators. Biological indicators, these check if there are any pathogens like the harmful bacteria or viruses are there in the water. Since water is limited and can become polluted, conserving and protecting it is very essential. Some of the methods used to conserve the water and improve the water quality are rainwater harvesting, efficient irrigation, and pollution control. Rainwater harvesting involves collecting rainwater, often from the rooftops, to help to recharge the groundwater. Wherever groundwater facilities we have digging water near to that, if you leave the water which comes from the rooftop during rain season, it will penetrate to the underground. It helps us to naturally uh, we can use the natural the rainfall effectively. Then efficient irrigation in farming, we can use methods like a drip irrigation. Drip irrigation means the water droplets are fallen, not thrown water as such. So required amount of water drops are the reaching here to the roots of the plants, or by using sprinklers, it will sprinkle water. That's called sprinkler irrigation, which are the effective use of water to the farm. This minimizes the wastage of water by delivering water directly to the roots of the plants. Then the pollution control. Pollution control involves reducing the amount of waste and chemicals which are entering to the water sources. Industries has to adopt, what they can adopt, eco-friendly practices, and they can treat wastewater before releasing it into the rivers or lakes. So water is very precious resource which we must use very wisely. So understanding where water comes from, checking its quality, uh, using using conservation methods, we can make sure that everyone has access to safe water today and for the future. That's sustainability. Then comes the waterborne and water induced diseases. Examples, causes and preventions are given. There are two types like waterborne diseases, water induced diseases. Waterborne and water induced diseases, which are diseases which are connected to water in one or the other way. There is some difference between these two that is given in the table. Waterborne diseases, they are diseases caused directly by drinking or using the contaminated water. Which means if we drink water which has uh, germs or bacteria in it, we can get sick. So some common examples of the waterborne diseases are cholera, typhoid, hepatitis, dysentery, etc. So many. So cholera, it is a disease caused by severe diarrhea and dehydration. Cholera it causes. A typhoid, which leads to very high fever, weakness, stomach pains. Uh, Hepatitis A, it affects the liver. which causes the fever, nausea, that yellowish, that jaundice, yellowishing of the skin because of hepatitis. Dysentery, is a serious infection which leads to diarrhea, and it affects the blood. With the blood, the diarrhea is with the blood. So the main causes of waterborne diseases is drinking water, which has not been treated properly. So especially in common areas with poor sanitation, means the places where people don't have good toilets or a clean water facility. When the sewage or the waste get into water sources, it can bring harmful bacteria. Harmful bacteria will grow in that condition. Viruses will grow, which will drink and will become sick. To prevent waterborne diseases, we can take simple steps to make sure that our drinking water is clean by boiling water. Boiling water always kills the germs if it goes temperature above 80, or boiling water 100 degrees Celsius. So it becomes safe to drink from the germs or the microbes. Filtering water, using water filters, efficient water filters are the technology improvements happened, which will improve the impurities and separate the bacteria. Or we have to use disinfected water. Sometimes the chemicals like the chlorine which are added, it will kill the harmful organism. Chlorine has got the ability to kill the microbes, but adding chlorine to the water, the taste of water will not be that much good. Now let us look into the water induced diseases, which are not spread directly by the drinking water, but still connected to the water. The water induced diseases, they happen because of the stagnant water. Stagnant water means water which stands still and it is not flowing. A stagnant water, it's a good place for the insects like mosquitoes to breed, to grow in large amount. So the examples of water induced diseases includes malaria, dengue fever, etc. Malaria, it is a disease which is spread by mosquitoes, causes fever and other serious symptoms. Dengue is another disease spread by mosquitoes, causing high fever and body pain, body aches, and fatigues. So, water-induced diseases are often seen in areas where there is, say, the stagnant water or standing water, which it can happen after a heavy rain. If the area is not properly drained, it is poorly drained areas, or even around homes where water collects in containers, or water collects in pots, puddles, then mosquitoes will lay their eggs in the stagnant water. So it is very important to keep water from collecting in those small pots, or making it standing still. Let it to penetrate to the earth, that is okay. Otherwise, you should make sure that after heavy rain and all, the things are cleaned. To prevent water induced diseases, we can have so many methods which we can follow. First one, that is eliminating the standing water, using uh, the insect repellents, which will protect against mosquito bites, especially where the malaria or dengue are very common. And maintaining proper drainage system, ensuring that water flows away from the living areas and prevent it from becoming stagnant and attracting mosquitoes. Drainage in the sense, if water is not penetrating to the no much time is there to penetrate to the earth, means let it to flow, don't let it to stagnant there. So waterborne diseases, they are spread by drinking unclean water, while the water induced diseases are connected to the standing water where mosquitoes can breed. So the proper steps to clean our water bodies, managing the standing water, we can protect ourselves from this illness. Then comes the fluoride problem in drinking water. uh, yes, okay. Fluoride problem. Fluoride, it is often added into water in small amounts to keep our teeth healthy. But too much fluoride in drinking water, it can actually cause health issues. So let us look at where this fluoride comes from and what health problems it can cause, and how we can reduce the high levels of fluoride in water. Now the sources. Fluoride, it is natural mineral which is found in water, rocks, soil. So in some places, especially certain geographical area, there is naturally more fluoride in groundwater. So because the water can pick up the fluoride from certain types of rocks or soil, which is in contact with the water body. So if people live in this type of areas where groundwater has high fluoride level, they might be drinking too much fluoride without even knowing it. Then the health effects of excessive fluoride content. As I said, small amount of fluoride it is needed for our teeth health, but too much fluoride it lead to health problems. Some of the issues which causes with high fluoride level are dental fluorosis and skeletal fluorosis. Dental fluorosis mostly affects the children because their teeth are still developing stage. So when they drink water with too much fluoride, it can cause white or brown spots to appear in their teeth. You know, our teeth are not actually pure white. So if white patches of brown spots are seen in children's teeth, that means it is a spot. Circles are seen. That means it is dental fluorosis. It doesn't hurt, but it does affect the look of the children's teeth. Then comes the skeletal fluorosis. When the fluoride built up in the bones and joints over time of consuming the water containing more fluoride, people with the skeletal fluorosis, they feel pain in the bone or the joints, or feeling the stiffness or difficulty in moving the bone, the junctions, joints. It is a serious case. So it is more likely to affect adults who have been drinking high fluoride water for a long time. The solutions for fluoride contamination, that is defluoration methods, that is removing the fluoride, that is defluoride. D means anytime it is dehydration, means a lot of water is removed. Like defluoride means removing the fluoride. One of the method is activated alumina filter. These are the type of filters can be added to water system, and which is very good in removing the fluoride. It works like a sponge which will soak up the fluoride, absorb this fluoride as water passes through it. The second method, that is the uh, Nalgonda technique, which uses the lime and alum to remove the fluoride from water. The chemicals, these chemicals causes the fluoride to separate from the water, and it can be taken out along with the lime and make a mixture, precipitates it, can separate. So it's a very useful technique where people use a lot of groundwater. Then comes the reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis is a special filtration system which can remove many things from water, including fluoride. So it pushes water through the fine filter and blocks out contaminants leaving or getting clean water passing through that. In addition to yeah, in addition to these methods, there are preventive strategies to make sure that we are not exposed to too much of fluoride by monitoring the fluoride level. That means regularly testing the water for fluoride levels to help the people to know if they need to take action. If the levels are high, they can use any of the defluoridation methods to clean the water. Or using alternate water resources. If the water has too much fluoride, it's better than going for a defluoridation. Use alternate water resources. Get water from some other area to drink. So fluoride, fluoride it is found naturally in water, but too much fluoride was problem for our teeth as well as our bones. Moving on to the next topic, that is energy, types of energy and sources. Discuss one by one. Okay, let it be like this. Okay, types of energy: kinetic energy, potential energy, and thermal, electrical, and chemical energy. Potential energy, it is energy of motion, movement. So when something is moving, like the wind or the water flowing down a river, it has got a energy called kinetic energy. So when we see wind moving a turbine to produce electricity, that means the kinetic energy is in action. Potential energy, actually it is stored energy, energy that is waiting to be used. For instance, the fossil fuel like coal or oil have stored energy that we can release when we burn them. That is a non-renewable source of energy. And the example can take nuclear energy, where energy is stored in nucleus of atoms and released through a process called fission, nuclear fission. Those are potential energy. Thermal, electrical, and chemical energy. Thermal energy is the energy related to heat. Thermal means heat, like heat, like the warmth from a heater, or heat generated by burning fuel. Electric energy, that is to use to power our electronic devices like lights, computers, mobiles, or other appliances. Chemical energy, it is found in substances like uh, batteries, the gasoline. So when these are used, they release energy to power vehicles or other machineries. Now sources of energy, there are conventional and non-conventional types. Conventional means earlier time we used, non-conventional renewable. So we are now studying more about, or going more about renewable sources of energy. So we'll see some of the advantages and limitations and what it is. The conventional source of energy, fossil fuel, nuclear energy are the main two. Fossil fuels, it include the coal, oil, natural gas, which are found underground and have high amount of energy stored in them. The advantages of fossil fuel, it produces a lot of energy and we widely used it using now also. And we have developed technology over many years to extract and use them efficiently. And the technology improvement is that we are using in a heavy high amount. That is also there. So limitation, burning fuel, it causes air pollution. It releases gases like carbon dioxide, which causes greenhouse gas or greenhouse concept, uh, which also affect the climate. Also, fossil fuels are finite resources. Once they are used up, we can't replace them. Then comes nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is produced by using a material called uranium. So when uranium atom are split, That process we call as fission. When during fission a large amount of energy is released, that can be used. The advantage is that nuclear energy produces high amount of energy without emitting the carbon dioxide, making it low in pollution compared to the fossil fuels. But it has got limitations that it is very challenging. The risk of radioactive contamination and high setup cost to control the fission, like the nuclear power plants. Additionally, after using the nuclear energy, disposal of the waste, the nuclear waste, and that is very complex problem nowadays. So those are conventional source of energy. Now let us see the non-conventional or renewable sources of energy or more sustainable sources of energy. These are energy sources which can be used again and again without running out. It is always better for the environment, like the solar energy, which is energy from sun. Solar energy can be captured using solar cells or photovoltaic cells, which directly turn sunlight energy to electricity, or solar thermal systems, which uses the sun heat to produce electricity, or to either to prepare warm water, or even producing uh, uh, steam and running the turbine and getting electricity. So advantage is that solar energy is abundant during daytime and will never run out. It has very low environmental impact. Limitation that it is very expensive to have the setup. So now research is going on to make it less costlier, like this or PV photovoltaic cells, as well as increasing the efficiency of such devices. And again, it depends upon the weather conditions, daylight, means cloudy days or night, or where the diffused light only is there, such areas, the solar energy will not work. Second one, that is the wind energy. Wind energy, it is captured by wind turbines. By the wind's motion, it turns the blades and then produce electricity. Advantage is that it is very clean, renewable, and has low operating cost once the turbines are set up. But same way it has got limitations. Large open areas we need to have to work the to for the turbines to work efficiently, and it causes a noise pollution. And also it depends upon whether if the weather conditions, if no wind means there is no electricity. Then hydrogen as an alternative energy source. Hydrogen, it is actually a gas form and can be used as a fuel. Hydrogen can be burned directly or used in fuel cells, just like galvanic cells. There's a concept called fuel cells, you might have studied, where the hydrogen is used in the anode side, oxygen in the cathode side. The normal galvanic cell type works. Hydrogen combines with oxygen to produce water, as well as we are getting electricity. So advantage, hydrogen is abundant, and when it is used, it only produces water as a byproduct. So it is very clean, and it can be used in many ways, from the vehicles, car, to even in the power plants. Limitations, producing hydrogen can be costly, and it is challenging because it requires very clean energy to separate it from the other elements. Storing hydrogen in that high pressure, as well as transportation of hydrogen, is also somewhat difficult. So energy, it is very essential in our lives, and it has got different forms, like as I said, the kinetic energy, uh, potential energy, thermal, chemical energy, and we use both the conventional as well as the most recent renewable sources which are sustainable energy to meet our energy needs. The conventional sources, it often causes pollution and it may eventually run out, while the renewable sources are cleaner and renewable but may be dependent on weather or have high initial cost. So by understanding these sources, we can make a better choice about using energy responsibly. So that's about module 2 in brief, and there are self-study component like alternative energy resources. I am suggesting the topics for the self-study like geothermal energy, biomass energy, tidal and wave energy, which are very easy concept that you can refer and uh, prepare yourself. I have made questions and CQ based on this, but exam whether it comes or not, that depends. But they are very simple topics, no much complicated topic. Okay, so I hope this class was useful for you to understand this topic, module 2 of environmental studies and e-waste management of the course for a computer science stream, 5th semester, BCSK Technological University. Okay, so thank you very much for watching my videos, subscribing my videos, and sharing it to others. The study materials you can find in the description box of this video in my YouTube channel, My Intuition. Go to the description box, you will get a click link. If you click it, you will get the PDF note to refer, and the MCQs it will be followed in this. You can check, you can find it in the playlist of my YouTube channel, Environmental Studies. So once again, thank you very much. Have a nice day.